what's up, guys? Boxing with B. So we're going to talk about a day full of boxing. It started off with Warrington versus Lopez earlier. And then later in the day, you had Teofimo Lopez versus Sando Martin. That fight was on ESPN. But first, let's talk about Warrington versus Lopez. I thought that was a good fight. I mean, it was one of those action-packed fights, but it was one of those fights that let's be honest. I think after Warrington fought against Mauricio Lara, and that was kind of like the last minute, let's just pick someone now. I always say that, but that's how it happened. Let's pick them. Let's, go in for a fight and basically use this as a stepping stone to just warm up and, take on another opponent. After seeing that, Warrington, that was the moment where Warrington really got tested. And just from there on, every fight is like, are we going to see him? Are we going to see him come in here and just dominate? Or are we going to see him get tested again? So leading into this fight, you have Lopez, who is a Mexican fighter. So you kind of have that same atmosphere of like Lara. So Warrington steps into the ring with them, and we kind of see the same thing. The only difference is that I think Lopez maybe doesn't have the same power that Lara has. So I would say that worked in Warrington's favor. But not to say that this wasn't a good fight. Warrington had his explosive moments as well. It just seemed that he had the tight guard, but somehow Lopez was still breaking through the guard most of the time. Warrington, you saw the damage on his face at the end. The fight went to decision. It went to Lopez. They gave it to him, but there was one card, 114, 114. So when they were announcing the cards, it took a minute. So I thought for sure they're going to give it to Warrington. But I was shocked. I mean, not shocked because I don't think that Lopez won the fight. Shocked because the fight is in the UK on DAZN. Not to say too much, but we've seen so many fights out there. And the one that I think about the most is, I don't think the last one, but the fight right before for Campbell Hatton, Ricky Hatton's son. It was just such I would say a robbery of a fight. His opponent, I can't even remember who it was right now, but his opponent totally won the fight. And at the end, they gave it to him by decision. And it was like, what? How was that even possible? Well, it's possible if the fight was already won before you even stepped into the ring. That's what I kind of thought might have happened here, but it didn't. Lopez came out successful. He beat Warrington. One thing that he did mention at the end is that when they talked to when they talked to Lopez and they asked him about the fight, he said, he basically said he was disappointed with the referee. The referee let too many, punches behind the head. He even said he punched him on the back, and, just illegal shots that should not have been happening were not addressed. He mentioned that, and he said it was just disappointing because boxing is already a dangerous sport and it doesn't need more danger to be allowed. I think that's a valid point. There was an accidental headbutt that was kind of early. I think it was in the second round. That was similar to what happened with Lara. Later on, you have those punches behind the head. I saw so many punches behind the head that were not even addressed. And he did keep saying, hey, but I get it. A lot of fighters most of the time will be like, hey, that was a hit behind the head or whatever. Kind of make excuses, but it didn't seem like that. He just fought through it. He's like, another hit behind the head. Another hit behind the head. And even sometimes when he didn't say there was a hit behind the head, I was like, I saw so many hits behind the head, ref. Come on, just call it. Call it a fair fight. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys saw. Did you guys see the same thing that I saw? Or, were you guys okay with the result? It was another one of those tough fights. We've been seeing all these fights get to decision. Chocolatito got to decision. This fight got to decision. Did you see it like the judges saw it? Did you have Lopez winning, or did you have Warrington winning, or did you see a draw? Let me know in the comments below. Later on, Teofimo Lopez stepped into the ring against Sando Martin from Spain. This is the same fighter that fought Mikey Garcia. And that was one where you're like, okay, I haven't really heard too much about Martin. Mikey Garcia is going to go in there and just demolish and win the fight. Wasn't what happened. We saw kind of a different Mikey Garcia, but fair and square, Martin took the fight. Then he steps in with Teofimo on a shorter notice. But he went in there confident. It's like he's going in there as the underdog, but he believes in himself. And when you believe in yourself, that's all it takes. If you think and you trust in your abilities, you see what we saw against Teofimo. Leading up to the fight, Teofimo said, I'm fighting Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin is one that boxes. He boxes his way out. He moves. He said those things. We see the fight. Teofimo didn't make the adjustments. In my opinion, he didn't make the adjustments against Martin's boxing, against him backing up and kind of fighting as he goes back. He didn't make those adjustments. So it seemed like every time he threw those big combinations, Martin was able to move out of the way. And I'm not saying he moved exactly like Floyd Mayweather, but I would say if you're like studying Floyd Mayweather, I saw glimpses. I felt like he was watching him, moving out of the way, saw every punch coming, turned with it. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. At least watch the first 2 or 3 rounds and just think about Floyd Mayweather. Think about how Floyd Mayweather moves and then just watch him and you're like, hey, I could kind of see glimpses of it. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know. Go rewatch it at least first 3 rounds. But either way, Martin did his job. I mean, he went in there, made him miss. The one thing though, if you tuned in late to that fight and you saw it, you might have thought, wow, Martin's face is really messed up. He must be losing this fight. But in reality, there was an accidental headbutt that happened in the first round. And that pretty much broke Martin's nose immediately. Like you could see it swelling. You could see the blood. Imagine that. Your nose is broken in the first round. You can't breathe after a while. You're fighting the whole fight like that, kind of with your mouth open. So it's a struggle. He did it. He did it. He stayed composed. And I mean, he just continued it. Like everyone says, you don't know what's going to happen. You can't really prepare. He couldn't go into the camp and prepare. Hey, what if he breaks my nose? I mean, I guess you can, but I don't think that's the first thing that someone's thinking when they're going to prepare to fight an opponent. Let me pretend I have a broken nose. I mean, maybe you do. Let me know in the comments if you do. I just didn't think you do. But anyways, I thought that was a good fight. I mean, Martin did his job. Like I said, Martin's plan was go in there, hit him, and make him miss. And I think he did that. I mean, he didn't get tagged up as much as he probably should have by Lopez. At the end of the fight, the decision went to Teofimo Lopez. Now, it was a controversial decision, I think. Some people may have seen Martin win. Let me know what you guys think below. Comment below if you think Teofimo won that fight, or also comment below if you think Sandor won that fight. What I didn't like was Teofimo goes up to him, even after the decision has gone his way, goes up to Martin and basically says, you were running. It was too much for you. You know, kind of just doing more trash talking, but it's like, why? Why are you going to go and trash talk him when you already won the decision? Is it because maybe you're not satisfied with the decision? You believe that maybe you didn't win the fight? You're not sure if you won the fight? You think Martin really believes he won the fight? What's more to prove if the decision on paper has already gone to you? I don't know. It kind of makes you think like maybe Teofimo also didn't think that he won that fight. And you know what? Even after the fight, which adds to it, is he was talking on the side and they did, turn the mics on and caught what he said. And he did say, he asked, do I still have it? Do I still have what it takes, man? Like questioning himself and his own abilities. So I think overall, the earlier fight with Warrington and then the later fight with Teofimo, you have these two guys. They're expected to go into these fights and win. Teofimo got the win by decision. Warrington lost by decision. But I'm saying you go into this fight thinking these are the guys that are going to win. The other guys are the underdogs. Warrington and Lopez both finished the fight. Both look like almost questioning what's next for them. They felt like they were these huge explosive fighters. And I'm not saying that they aren't or weren't. But now that the results are not exactly what they want, it seems like they're doubting themselves. They're questioning. Let me know in the comments if you saw that. I feel like both of them were not sure. I mean, Teofimo, he puts on a persona, but at the same time, behind the scenes, you can kind of see glimpses of it. He wasn't completely satisfied with his performance. And Warrington looks like he gave it. I don't know. He was just in his head, it almost seemed like. Like he doesn't want to get hit. He's scared to take a hard hit. His guard was strong, which is good. But at the same time, punches are still landing through the guard. And you're not exploding like you once were. Warrington before Lara exploded, came at you, was not scared to go and just demolish you and overwhelm you. Now it's a little bit like glimpses, like he'll give you the glimpses but come back and protect himself, which is good. But don't lose that fire that you had before. Believe in yourself is more what I'm saying. Same with Teofimo. It's not that he held back too much, but Devin Haney came out and tweeted, he's not the same after Cambosos. He'll never be the same, basically. Not to say that I completely agree, but you can see the glimpses. He doesn't want to get dropped. Maybe hold back a little bit, but it wasn't too much that he was on the defensive mode. I don't know. Just maybe overthinking, maybe too patient, waiting. And then he got dropped in the second round. Maybe it wasn't a big drop, but maybe he was off balance. Either way, if he was off balance, he could have prevented it. But he touched the canvas. Glove touched the canvas. Yeah, he got up okay, but he touched the canvas. I mean, let me know, like I said, what you guys think below. I thought it was, they were good fights. You were watching to see what's going to happen next. It wasn't like you got a little bored or anything like that. No, they were exciting fights. You wanted to see what the judges saw, how the decisions went. Again, comment below what you guys thought of both of those decisions. Do you agree with the judges? Do you not agree with the judges?
Fight.
Breaking news.
This is the guy that's going to give him the biggest fight.
Then guess what?
Fight.